Good morning, Venerables. Good morning, friends. Shri the Tathagata is one who speaks the truth, who speaks the actual, who speaks what is so, who does not speak what is false, who does not speak what is not so. This is part of chapter 15 from the Diamond Sutra. So some of us probably are familiar with the Diamond Sutra, right? If not, better to memorize the entire sutra within a month or so. So, to ask others to do that, I have to do it myself, right? But probably not in this life. So today's topic, right speech. So, right speech is part of the Noble Eightfold Path. It's a very important part of the Noble Eightfold Path. It's listed as the third one. If you turn the wheel, this is clockwise, right? Okay, clockwise. Then you see right view is the first one, then right intention, then right speech, then right action, livelihood, effort, concentration, and mindfulness. But it doesn't end there because it comes back to right view. So it's a circle. It's a wheel that's turning. Okay. Now, the Noble Eightfold Path can also be divided into three divisions, what we call the 3 steps of learning or 3 process of learning. First of all, we have to have some foundation. So the foundation is called morality or the moral conduct. Now we have to get the foundation solid, right? Before we build on the stupa or the building, we have to have the foundation solid. So sila, morality, is the first one. Then we can proceed to the next step and train the mind to be focused a little bit, steady a little bit, not let it run like a little monkey. So, and then within the process, we'll be able to develop what we call the wisdom. Now, wisdom does not necessarily equal or unequal to the worldly intelligence or smart, okay? But it's a higher level. It's a higher level. It's an ability to penetrate into the truth. Okay, so step back a little bit. It's called, how does it related? How does right speech, remember the topic is right speech, related to our moral conduct, the 5 precepts, okay? It's listed as number 4. So first, we have to stop killing. Don't kill ourselves, okay? Don't try to harm anything, any being, okay? Then don't take things that does not belong or given to you. And then refrain from sexual misconduct. And then the 4th one is refrain from verbal misconduct. Now, this is what we call the right speech, okay? So also, the right speech can be pertained to the actions, what we perform day to day. What actions? First of all, we have, if I punch you, I use my physical action, right? If I see, I use my eye, that's a physical action. Now what I'm doing here is, I'm talking. So I'm doing the verbal action, okay, using my mouth, not just to eat, but to talk. So that's the verbal action. Then before talking or doing the punching or doing anything at all, we start from here. Well, this is my habit to point to my brain, but actually it's the mind. We use our mind to generate the intention to speak or to act. Okay? So, physical, verbal, and mental, those are the three actions. Now, related to the Eightfold Noble Path, we have refraining from killing, from stealing, sexual misconduct. This is our physical action. Then our verbal action, there are 4 of them, which is our focus today. And then mental action is like aversion, ignorance, intoxication. It's part of, you think that, well, if I take an alcohol, it's my physical action. But it's going to dull the mind. So it's related to the mental action also. Now, what is the definition of right speech? And what is right speech? Abstain from lying, from division or divisive speech, from abusive speech, and from idle chatter. This is called right speech. This is from Samyutta Nikaya, Sutta number 45.8. Don't worry about the numbers, but it's good to remember. So, abstain from lying, no divisive speech. Sometimes we also call this no slanderous speech, no abusive speech, no idle chattering. Right speech. Number 1, no lying. Abstain from false speech. Guess what will happen if we do that? Everybody knows the story, right? So I don't have to explain this. Okay? Now, how do we know that we are committing lying, committing a false speech? It must be, the things that we said must be untrue. This is white. True? False? False. So this is untrue. There must be an intention to deceive. Okay? There must be an effort to make as a result of the intention. Okay? Deliberately. Intention. Remember the mental factors? The mental action? Okay? Then the others must understand. If I hold this up and say to a blind person and say, this is white, does he understand or she understand? He or she cannot see. So the other must know the meaning of what is said. So there are the 4 conditions that if we do that, we are committing the lying. Okay? So, I pulled some information from Bhikkhu Bodhi's book, Noble Eightfold Path. Says that wisdom consists in the realization of the truth. So we may think that, okay, so what? I'm just saying something. Oh, I don't say something deliberately. If I know that, somebody is I know that somebody is going to get killed, and I keep my mouth shut. Don't tell. Okay? Then, deliberately, intentionally, I got this person killed. So, Am I wise? Because I get out of, being a witness. Something we have to think about, okay? But then it is so important. It is a very important factor to develop our wisdom. We might be able to find a way to resolve the problem, okay? Lying is just like shielding us from the truth. I see nothing. But there are people sitting here. I'm covering my own eyes, right? Kind of prevent myself to face the reality. Okay? Lying sometimes it's not necessary harm the others but yourself. Okay? So, forming a habit to speak of the truth is going to train our mind to see things as they really are. So it's a good thing to do. It's a good practice. You see a lot of pictures on my talk. Now, the next one is called abstain from slanderous or divisive speech. This is a story. I don't know if anyone heard about this story. During the Buddha's time, there are a group of different religion, philosophy, believers during the Buddha's time in India at the time. So Buddha's attract a lot of disciples. Got a lot of jealousy, a lot of opposition, a lot of challenge. So they were thinking about, how do I defeat the Buddha? If I can defeat the Buddha, then I'll be famous. People will follow me. So I'll get all the benefit from my follower. So how do I do that? So a group of people come up with a scheme saying that, okay, so they are renounced monastics, right? They go from, especially Buddha, a lot of his followers go from the royal family, a very famous family, wealth family, to become homeless. So money, we can't make a scandal there. Because, if they want money, they want power. Buddha already got them all. But he gave them up. So, no. That's we cannot create a scandal to harm the Buddha. But women can. So they planned this beautiful lady go to Buddha's monastery and spend a night there. Next day, she came out and talked to everybody and said, I had a great time with the Buddha. Okay? Now, then the rumor spreads. 8 months later, this lady, maybe you can see this. Let me see if I can point this up. See the stomach here? You see a pregnant lady there. And Buddha was having an assembly with all his disciples, most of the disciples, with the king. Here's the king, attending. So she came shouting and said that, "Hey, shaved head, what are you going to do with the child? He or she is coming. If you can't do anything, how about the wealthy people around you? Maybe they can help." So what did Buddha do? He just smiled and said, "My child, you know what you're talking. and I know what you're talking. Smile with compassion, with loving kindness. And this lady got scared. All of a sudden, the wood that tied around his belly fell. So Dhamma works, right? Actually, it was a scheme or a scandal trying to slander or divide the Sangha community. Okay? Committed a great, unforgivable lie. Not only that, but slanderous, divisive speech. Okay? So, is this look familiar to you? Do we sometimes do that in a party, in a group? We talk, we chat, and we try to tell he, she, they doing something, said something to you, so you better get away from him. This group is no good. Don't join. Have we heard about that? Does that sound familiar? Okay. When a gathering like this, let's think. So how to commit a slanderous or divisive speech? There are 5 conditions has to meet. Endowed with a habit. I have the habit always telling the other's fault. I endowed with that kind of seed in me. That's one condition. Okay? I intentionally, everybody is so harmonious. They're so happy getting together. No, I can't stand it. I have to try to disturb the harmony. Oh, look, they are fighting with each other. Great. I'm so happy about it. Okay? If I do that, what happened in my mind? It's connected with the unwholesome mental factors. There are 28 unwholesome factors, like search on Google. There are 29 wholesome factors. No, I don't mean search on Google as an unwholesome factor. I mean that we can search on Google and find out what are the 28 or 29 wholesome and unwholesome factors, okay? So, intentionally creates enmity or division. Hey, Maggie, Stacy is saying that you're bad. Hey, Stacy. Okay? So that's what happened. And I, again, took some of the wording or teaching from Bhikkhu Bodhi's book. See? So the important, I'll send you the slides if you leave me your email address, okay, so you don't have to actually read. So, but the key point here is that slanderous speech is among the 4. Remember the 4? Lying. What else is that? Slander. Divisive. Slander and divisive is 1. Number 3 is 1.
Harsh words.
Harsh words. And number 4?
Idle chatter.
What is it?
Idle chatter.
Yeah, gossiping, right? So those are the 4. Good, you guys remember. So, but then among the four, this is the most serious thing to do because it's rooted in hatred. Okay? If hatred arises, it's one of the mental factors, then the words that we speak out, intention to split up somebody, cause trouble, cause, people to conflict with each other, then this is serious. Okay? Avoid that as much as possible. So there must be something that we can do to stop us doing that, right? Okay, so the antidote is when we want to perform the verbal action to split up, to slander, to divide, then immediately replace that mental factor with loving kindness and compassion. Okay? If I see, Stacy and Maggie are so harmonized, and the thought is that I'm jealous, I don't want them to be friends. So the minute that thought arises in the mind, replace it with loving kindness. Okay? We can do it. We can do it. Okay? CAN, we can do it. So the next one is harsh word. Abstain from abusive speech. Does that look familiar, this cartoon? And because my husband is sitting in this room, just let him vent, this will pass. Okay? Don't say anything back. Well, we can actually detect when we want to say harsh words, abusive words, because check our heartbeat. It's going to beat faster. Okay. Our face will turn red. You feel the sweat come out. Okay. If we detect those things happen on the body, that means something happened in the mind. Okay? We get angry. So we want to say something to harm the others. Okay? So, sati, sati, sati. Beware, beware, beware. Be mindful if that happens. Again, there are 7 conditions to commit this abusive speech. Speaking things that make other people angry. Delighted to see other people angry. Hey, you're so mad, I'm so glad. Okay? Connected with unwholesome mental factors when speaking. The other must know the meaning of what is said. If I talk to my children and say that, you're stupid. So, do they understand me? If they are 2 years old, they probably won't. Now, if they are 30 years old, they probably look at me and walk away. Okay? So, verbal attack other person's personal, this is a typo, personal matters. Like, once in Hong Kong, once I went to a shop, to shop. I walk in there, I ask that, do you have a size 10? We don't carry size for fat people like you. Okay? Or, look, my son went to MIT. Why is your son go to community college? Okay? Hey, I'm a Buddhist. Look at my actions. They're all right actions. Beware. Okay? Look at my conduct. I'm a vegetarian. You're not. You're killing living things. Think. Okay? So, but then at the end of the slide, we'll know what to do. Don't worry at the time being. Next one. Abusive speech, okay? And this is again from Bhikkhu Bodhi. So the purpose is to cause pain or anger to others. Now, he said that there are 3 forms of abusive speech. So first one is scolding, reviling. Is it called reviving? Reviling, or reproving others angrily with bitter words. Insult. How do you pronounce the last one?
Sarcasm.
Sarcasm. Sarcasm. Okay. You're so smart. True or not true? I don't know. But when my son said that, Mom, you're so smart with the computer. And he knows I'm a dummy. So, one of the examples. So let's come to the antidotes. Is it the antidote? Do I go? Yeah. Let's see. Do I have the antidote? Okay, I kind of skipped that. The antidote for abusive speech is what?
Kind speech.
Kind speech? Abstain. But what if we hear somebody says something to us? What do we do? Patience. Patience, tolerate blame and criticism from others, sympathize. Oh, poor thing, he doesn't know what he's doing, saying. Okay? So, and respect, this is very important. Respect differences in viewpoint. I'm right. I'm always right. You're always wrong. Okay? Respect the different viewpoint. So if I receive that abusive word, I just endure it and have the patience. The next one is idle chattering, right? Or gossiping. Familiar? Have a cup of coffee or tea with our friends. Let's talk, let's catch up, let's chit-chat. Good thing to do. Relax, very relaxing. It starts from very young. Okay? It's not necessary adults does that. So remember, we talked about before, a few slides ago, that endowed it with a personality. Okay? So we have the seeds. But because of impermanence, we can get rid of it. I like this slide. It's called Home. I really like it. I think it's fun. Look at the face. It's so happy. Now, don't use that to get rid of our stress, okay? This is not going to work. chattering is not going to get rid, but just, actually increase our defilements. Okay? Be careful of that. So, idle chatter is a pointless talk, speech that lack purpose or depth. Such speech communicate nothing of value, but only stirred up the defilements in one's own mind and in others. Okay, so the Buddha advises us that idle talk should be curbed and speech restricted as much as possible to matters of a genuine importance. Now, right now, before the technology era, all we can gossip is, face to face, maybe phone line, Right now, it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, whatever we can do, right? Message. So be careful when we put something, type something. So be very careful that we don't fall into all these 4 categories. So right speech in party is called samavacha. So again, we don't have to read those. Just ask for a slide so we can read it at home. Now, and what other 5 conditions must be established in himself? And this is from Anutta Nikaya, if I remember. Yeah, it's translated by Namamole. So how to train ourselves to establish right speech? First of all, do I speak at the right time? If things already happened and we can't help, and you're still saying that you should have, then that's not right speech. Okay? Do I speak of facts or not? Okay? Do I speak gently or harshly? Do I speak profitable words or not? Do I speak with a kind heart? I don't know what kind heart, or inwardly malicious? Okay? So the Buddha's word, O bhikkhus, these 5 conditions are to be investigated in himself, and the latter 5 established in himself by a bhikkhu who desires to admonish another. So again, this is from Anutta Nikaya, number 5. We can read it. I think we can get that, online too, the sutra. Okay. Before we speak, think. T, is it true? H, is it helpful? I, is it inspiring? N, is it necessary? K, is it kind? Before we speak. And I love this slide. Don't put our foot into our own mouth. And finally, for everybody, may all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be liberated. And I thank you all.